Hello YouTube, Liverpool fan in Japan here, the Miyazaki man Sai. Coming thick and fast is the big crunch games. We have Chelsea first before we travel to the Emirates against Arsenal. Chelsea have their own injury problems. Robert Sanchez, for example, is injured. It's going to be Petrovic in goal, and they have a lot of players coming back from injury as well, but they've actually got to start a few of these players, whereas they don't have the luxury of Liverpool. For once, we actually have a very powerful squad where we have the option to change it from the bench or to start with the starting 11. So this is what I think Liverpool will go with against Chelsea on Wednesday. However, for me, it's going to be Thursday. It's going to be a late one. We're 9 hours ahead. Here we go. So as always, substance in abundance. We're going to go through the tactical variations and what I think Liverpool will probably need to do to beat Chelsea on Wednesday. However, it ultimately depends on how Chelsea set up as well and what Jurgen Klopp anticipates to be Chelsea's winning conditions, because Liverpool have to negate them as well as implement their own style. We are at Anfield. We have the crowd behind us. The Anfield roar. I think we probably have enough to see at home, but we need tactical implementation from the start and the players to facilitate the plan and carry out the function involved. So what do I think Chelsea will do? So ultimately, it's going to be Sterling starting. It's going to be Cole Palmer starting, probably false 9 or tip of the diamond. He might come in from wing as well. And then it's going to be a choice between someone like Mudryk or Gallagher. Could even be Madueke. He started a few lately. But Cole Palmer is the playmaker, and he's the one that you've got to keep an eye out for. And Sterling will obviously try to pin back Trent Alexander-Arnold. Now, if you want to go defensive, Conor Bradley comes in because he's a defensive stalwart. He's got a lot about him in terms of the right-back role, up and down, but does his defensive duties very well as well. And we know that Trent is a known commodity, but where he will shift into an invert is a question to be told as well. What will happen in regards to Chelsea's backline with Petrovic? Thiago Silva is an absolute certainty, but Disasi might be on the right-hand side. Levi Colwill, he's possibly fit again. They've got some options. Badiashile, apparently. Colwill could go on the left side, but I think Chilwell is fit again, so that's a big boost to them. But Chilwell hasn't played for a long time, so once again, coming back from injuries, yet to be seen whether they will want to face the wrath of Darwin, Chaos Nunez, and co. So I think Chelsea's midfield probably picks itself. You've got Moise Caicedo, Enzo Fernandez, and most likely Conor Gallagher as well, unless Palmer plays at the tip. With that in mind, this is how I think Liverpool will line up. The classic 4-3-3 formation to start off with, because it is our bread and butter for Klopp's whole tenure, and he usually starts in this formation, but we know Alisson Becker will go in goal because he's the best keeper in the world, top notch. Keep us nice and safe at the back. Alisson will always need to make a save or two against Chelsea because Chelsea have enough quality to get in behind and some good ball players. Enzo Fernandez, Caicedo can play a good ball. Thiago Silva plays a ball through the lines as well. So something to keep an eye out for. And Cole Palmer obviously is on form. He is their main man, their threat at the moment. Enzo Fernandez controlled the game in the opening fixture. One to keep an eye out for. If we had Endo, we'd be a lot more confident in holding him back. However, we have the personnel to do the damage as well. So right back, straight away, decision between Conor Bradley, who's been doing absolutely amazing, man of the match in the cup game. Does he keep his place? I think it would be very wise for him to keep his place because he's very, very adept at marking a winger out of the game and providing the attacking threat, because he does what Trent used to do: go around the outside, go around the back, link up with the midfield side 8. He can cut inside, he can go outside, he can pull it back. He's got something about him to actually get into these spaces as well. He's not just an out-and-out right back overlapping around the outside. He's tactically intelligent, very, very good Ireland international as well. So I think Conor Bradley probably does deserve a place in here, but because you're talking about the biggest games and Trent being fit again, making his cameo off the bench, you've probably got to start with Trent just because of the tactical versatility and what he can offer in an attacking sense. And he should be protected as well because we have to go full strength here, right? So Trent Alexander-Arnold for the ability to play our game, control our tempo and distribute the ball to anywhere on the pitch. With Trent's existence on the pitch, there's nowhere safe for the opposition. So you're talking about this boundary, you're talking about this boundary here, you're talking through the lines, you're talking out and around side through the lines. So there's nowhere safe when Trent is on the pitch and Trent is on the ball. And he always needs to start a right back, none of this midfield nonsense, because of the fact that he, with his vision and with his creativity, can transition into the half space, into defensive transition, into the 6 double pivot, into the quarterback role between centre backs. He can go where he's most effective, find a space to play the balls to win us the game, to get us up the field into those game winning positions. Okay, so Trent starts at right back. Next team, this probably picks itself. You're looking at Konate and Van Dijk. So the only other option is Joe Gomez in here. Quansah will not start this game. He is our cup hero at the moment. Quansah not putting a foot wrong, but our big dogs, Van Dijk, Captain Van Dijk, Virgil van Dijk, and Ibu Konate. So I've heard in the news recently, people have been questioning, right? Oh, Van Dijk won't commit because of the fact that Jurgen Klopp is leaving. He'll wait to see the new regime, what's happening. It's a very diplomatic answer. Don't take anything in to what he's saying. Don't read into it too much. It's a bit of a nothing answer. I could be here, I could be gone. I've got a contract for 18 months. Will they renew? Won't they renew? Is a bargaining chip? Is an agent ploy to get him a big pay rise? He is the captain of Liverpool Football Club. He's answered correctly in a way that nobody knows the future. Let's see if the new manager wants me. If the new manager wants me, okay. Let's see the contract conditions. Would contract conditions be satisfactory? Okay. I love playing for LFC. I love playing for Jurgen Klopp. I'm the captain of Liverpool. I will lead us to glory this season, very hopefully. Fingers crossed, double fingers crossed. I think Van Dijk is absolutely fine. He loves Liverpool. Liverpool loves him, and it's not going to be a mass exodus of players. I've heard ridiculous stuff like Trent, Salah, Van Dijk going, right? End of an era, big turnover. They follow Klopp out the door. When in history have Liverpool just scrapped half of their best players? Oh, yeah, manager gone. All these guys gone. Who will buy them? Will be an acceptable transfer fee? Will they meet the wage demands? Will they want to go to that club? Will Liverpool want to sell? Negotiations, agencies, all this stuff in the background. It's not as likely as you think. There's a lot of moving parts in it. Be optimistic, guys. Don't be so down in the dumps. Okay, so Ibu Konate, absolute man-mountain beast. He can cover for Trent when Trent transitions, because Ibu is one of the best line coverers and line defenders in the game. Out wide, he's very, very adept. It's not like a Sami Hyypiä going out wide where he's a little bit uncomfortable because of the lack of pace and lack of agility. Even Carragher out there is not the most proficient. So Konate allows Trent to roam very, very safely. But now is a big important choice here. So you have the left back options. We're talking about Gomez, we're talking about Andy Robertson, who's now fit again. I mean, potentially Conor Bradley can play there, but I don't know, he's not going to play there. Owen Beck is going back on loan to Dundee because it's the only club that he can play for apart from Liverpool. 2 clubs per season to be registered on. So with that in mind, Robertson is our natural first choice left back, one of the most world class outstanding left backs in the last few seasons. However, he's only just come back from injury, and Gomez has not put a foot wrong. I think Gomez starts this game for the balance, because Gomez has actually been a real attacking threat, shown real intent, and really shown up in these spaces. Now I'm going to show you some clips right now. Look where Gomez is positioned. When McAllister has the ball, look where Gomez is positioned. Not only is he going to try and shoot and get his goal this season, because Klopp is going to pay his misses, who knows how much, but Gomez is a front-footed front-line defender who can cover the line. He's got a bit about him. He's decent on the ball, good agility. People underestimate his pace. He's had a few injuries, but his pace as well. He can cover the lines, and he contributes to the offensive forward press in those advanced positions. So it's very prominent to see Gomez on the pitch. He offers a lot. And when Gomez gets a good run of games, which he has done lately, he performs extraordinarily well. Gomez only has those floppy moments when he comes off the bench and plays every now and again with consistency, as even Jarell Quansah, with a mature head on him, said. You come on rusty, right? You may make mistakes. You may be a second late to the action. You may be a bit indecisive. But no, Gomez has played consistently. I trust him at left back. Robertson can come off if needed. Similarly, Conor Bradley can come on. What an option to have, Conor Bradley and Robertson. My goodness. Any other Premier League team would probably take that as a first choice fullback pairing. That's how lucky we are. Okay. In the absence of captain Wataru Endo, leading Nihon Ichiban Blue, Samurai Blue, into the Asia Cup, obviously progressing there. Korea did well to draw to not encounter Japan early days. Well done, my sons. Yes, Wataru Endo is not here, but therefore McAllister is our starting 6. So there's an injury doubt there because he skipped the last one precautionary. I think he comes straight in because he's got the dog in him, he's got the fight in him, World Cup winner. But more importantly, he's game intelligent. When you're in this role here to get the ball off the back, you need to be press resistant, you need to be game intelligent, but you need to be brave, because you will be pressed, you will be on the risk of a turnover, which is the worst place in the game to turn over. I mean, you're not going to turn it over on Van Dijk or Konate unless it's a hospital pass. So this is the most dangerous area that opposition press. Double press on the 2 front 6, probably Gallagher and Caicedo. Gallagher and Caicedo will be floating in around this area to press McAllister, which is why he needs protection and he needs options. This is about passing lanes and instinctive passing and trusting your teammates. So Pep Guardiola is the master of those passing lanes to allow Rodri every option in a difficult situation, an easy situation, because they can try to cut out the pass, in which case he can turn and pivot and go. So McAllister straight in there. I think this one picks himself on the left hand side, Mr. Curtis Jones, because he is fast becoming our most important midfielder, for the fact that he can receive the ball, retain the ball, and have every tactical option. He's very diverse as a player. The ball sticks to him. He can control it with the left foot, with the right foot. He can play through the lines for a pass. He can drive through the lines with a dribble. He's got a decent shot and a decent cross and decent long ball. He's becoming super well-rounded and super important. And more and more, he is a scouser, the heartbeat. He's fast becoming the heartbeat of the team. If Trent is the brains of the team, Curtis Jones is the heartbeat of the team. Think about it for a second. Carragher, Gerrard, Reborn. But these guys, extraordinarily talented. My goodness, what a combination. What a combi. And he's a big ghetto gangster as well. I like Jones. Just a presence for there, because He's got confidence, cockiness and arrogance, and you need that because against Chelsea, I want to see him drive. I want to see him drive past Caicedo. Caicedo, rip him down and get a red card because Jones is very, very good. Very, very good. I love saying that. Jones, people who doubted him because he held onto the ball too long, didn't distribute it well enough, was a bit greedy. He tried to rotate the ball. Now he's balanced, pure balanced. So who offers the rest of the balance in the midfield in that triumphant triangle? McAllister, Jones. You put another baller here. So Harvey Elliott, tiki-taka, ball close to feet, right-sided 8. Klopp has trusted Harvey Elliott in the right-sided position previously, but I think Chelsea historically have been quite hard to break down. They have 2 holding midfielders in front of the back 4 who really, really keep it tight in terms of that square. So what they do, they have their square here, and it's really, really hard to break through the opposition area there. So I'm looking for a long ball player or a long ball shooter, and you know who that is. We've only got one, Szoboszlai. Now, he hasn't really hit the heights he had in the early seasons because people are starting to understand what he does. Similar to the Gravenberch effect, people understand what Gravenberch is looking to do, so you stand off him, give him time. So he can't pirouette past you, he can't turn past you, can't drop the shoulder, he can't use his physique against you. Similar to Szoboszlai, people are starting to catch on to the fact that he is very good on the out wide positions and the half space positions. He is good in the offensive transition as well. He does work hard and run back, but Szoboszlai has been marginalised by the fact that him and Trent Middle-Broski kind of bromance. Szoboszlai covers a lot. He really, really covers a lot to get Trent into this kind of position because Trent ultimately actually has a bit more about him than Szoboszlai in this position and is able to slide the balls through. Now, Szoboszlai can do the slide ball. He can do a long-range shot, but Trent is the most productive, creative, hybrid right back that you have at the moment, and Konate likes to drive through the lines as well. So with this much offensive threat, Szoboszlai really has to do a lot of tracking back in this kind of area. That being said, he facilitates Trent to transition because when Szoboszlai goes in this kind of position here, Trent has free reign to go into the double pivot 6 position and use his range of passing. Now Trent and McAllister at a base, them passing through the lines is absolutely immense. So Szoboszlai in a pseudo right back position, pseudo right half position is very effective with Konate covering him as well. Now if Szoboszlai wants to go right half, he's got the delicious ball into the front as well. Delicious balls from Szoboszlai and Trent. So this right hand side is where we always overload, and even in the absence of Salah, historically we've always overloaded the right hand side, and for good reason as well. Left side has been more of a ball playing, recycling effect, especially when we have Lucho Diaz who cuts inside and he's a bit of a dribble merchant as well. So Szoboszlai enables an overpowered delivery from the right hand side, and I think he comes straight in there. Now before we go into more kind of tactical variations, you saw me inverting Trent into the middle there. We've got to decide who we play with. Now in the big games, Nunez always starts because people are starting to clock onto the fact that it doesn't matter whether he scores or doesn't score. His existence on the pitch tells a full story in itself. He's a handful. My goodness, as a defender, what do you do against Darwinho Nunez? He runs in behind like an absolute freight train, steamrolling, thundering with pace and that glorious, glorious hair, whether it's in a ponytail or whether it's in an ebi maki sashimi, whatever sushi style you want. You can't give him space in behind, so you can't play a high press, but you can't go too tight to him either because he can roll you or the bounce can ricochet off him. It can go off his ankle, can go off his toe, and he can do you as well with skill. He has a surprising amount of skill. The 1-2 light step, the little Zidane pirouette spin. He's got a little Pirlo spin as well in within him. He can do the Cruyff turn. He can do a bit of everything. Nunez is a very, very skillful player. Now those shots, he's always been unlucky. That curling effort against Norwich as well. Beautiful against the base of the post, but he got his goal in the end through persistence and passion, and through Conor Bradley as well, giving him the ball. But Nunez breaking the lines, or Nunez holding the ball up, Nunez is the agent of chaos, and he starts our big games on merit. In the absence of Mo Salah, you have 3 choices: Diogo Jota, Luis Diaz, Harvey Elliott. Gakpo is not the most effective out there, neither is Nunez. They prefer the left hand side for obvious reasons. They cut inside on the right hand side. They don't particularly dribble well with the left foot, so it cuts down the options for them. Harvey Elliott is the pseudo mini Salah without the pace and without the statistical high bar, you know, the absolute benchmark, but he presses like a beast and he offers that Salah option of cutting inside into half space, allowing Szoboszlai or Trent, most likely Szoboszlai because Trent doesn't go too far these days, into that position. But I don't think Harvey Elliott will start this because he's also a weapon on the bench, and in the biggest games you probably go with the more senior attacking threat for consistency. Now where does each player play? If you play Lucho Diaz and Jota, Lucho Diaz is a left-sided player. That leaves Jota the slotter, who predominantly can play anywhere because he always offers clinical finishing. He can sneak into the box. He smells the goal. He's hungry for those goals. He sneaks into the position, back post. He's dominant in the air, and for a little guy, for the headers. He can shoot a hard shot, and he's two-footed. Okay, he may not be cutting inside, but he does this kind of diagonal worm dribble that goes straight and direct at opposition, which really, really unsettles defense. I don't know if it's a worm dribble or not. I just made that up. But the fact that Jota has the ability to get into the box here, and he's not marginalised out wide, he can get into the offensive half spaces and in front of the D and into the number 10 position, because Jota, I would say, even with Salah on the pitch, Jota is the best playmaking forward for giving the players the right balls that they want to finish first time or to finish easily. He's really game intelligent, and he's got a lot of composure. He really has a lot of composure in the final third, and his presence is very important, which allows Lucho Diaz to play his natural role on the left, because why not? Lucho Diaz is always a consistent threat. He opened the scoring against Chelsea for us this season. He scored our first goal, right? Slidden across the pitch. Mo Salah slides it in outside the foot. Luis Diaz slides it in into the far post. He will always be a threat. He always cut inside as well. And his existence here, him playing with Jones is a baller, right? So when Diaz cuts inside, this kind of ball area here, Jones is very good at holding it up. So you can't allow Jones in behind, because he's very good at going in behind as well, and he's got composure to pick someone out. Nunez will cause havoc running at the near post, which leaves Jota a target in the air with Szoboszlai, an outside shooter. Diaz always plays in this position to either shoot it far post or to slide a reverse ball in, and Jones is very prominent in going around the outside as well. This is why this connection works, and this is why this team shape kind of works, because on the right hand side you overload the passing options. Szoboszlai and Trent, great delivery. Slide Jota in, Jota will cut inside. Nunez can meet a dummy runner going around the outside. Jones can pick up the pieces in number 10. Jurgen Klopp has always been very, very good at working a player into the number 10 position for the second phase and second transition as an outside shooter, as an outside option. If Frank Lampard, and I know you can mention Gerrard, but Frank Lampard was probably the benchmark for this, as an outside number 10 running late into the box or arriving on purpose or on cue to have the highest efficiency for scoring the goal on the edge of the area, I think Szoboszlai has a kind of benchmark there. He can become that player. He just scores every game. Why does the ball always come to Szoboszlai, and why does Szoboszlai always slot it in? I want to hear that evolution for Szoboszlai from the commentators. Why is it always Szoboszlai that the ball falls to, and why does the ball always end up in the back of net? Hopefully he can grow into that kind of player, because he has the skill sets for it, and he's a good looking lad as well. So this is ultimately how I think we will set up in the first instance, but we always will revert to our shape to make sure that we have the numbers in the midfield and also the passing options, because when you have this kind of setup here, you have the triangle, the obvious triangle in the back line to play around between these players here, and that's very, very important, because Chelsea will press, and there's a lot of times we're going to have to play balls around the side, and Van Dijk's long ball's out, or the ball to Alisson, Alisson's long ball out, and it's more interesting that when Van Dijk hits a long ball, it hits to this kind of position mainly, right, the right side, but you can hit one to the left hand side. But Alisson, when Alisson plays the ball, it's more risky, because even this short distance here is crucial, allowing the opposition to get in front or make a challenge. So Jota or Diaz or Gomez high or Trent high, so Alisson will look to pick that kind of ball out. It has to be closer. It can't be the long one or is contested in the air. Now Van Dijk holding the fort also allows Konate to push into this position, because Konate likes a bit of a run and dribble as well. He parts the sea. So when Jones is in this position, if we can't break the lines with McAllister through the lines into one of our advanced eights who go into the kind of Mazzala positions, then it's up to Konate to break the lines. Now Matip was an absolute pro at doing this because of his long strides, long legs, and the drop of the shoulders. Don't underestimate Konate's drop of the shoulders, learning from Matip of course, to get into positions to progress the ball. Now if Szoboszlai is in this position and Trent is high in this position, it could allow us the option a front post slide to Jota, and look at these two challenging at the back post in the air. Lucho Diaz has scored quite a few back posts in the air. Nunez is always a menace. I'd like to see Nunez score more headed goals actually. We're not giving him the delivery first time because we're using him to stretch the defence and to pull the defenders as a ploy to make space for the opposition to move out of the way for one of our late runners to get the headers. But I would like to see Nunez score some headers as well, because he's pretty decent in the air. But I think the game-winning position is always Trent in this position here or in this position here. You get Trent into that shape and it's always the players facilitating him, allowing him to move into those kind of positions. Even if we need a goal at the end of the game, it usually ends up in this kind of shape because Trent always pushes in this position to try to get a shot or an assist or a slided ball through. Jota's existence on the pitch, as long as he gets at least 2 shots, he usually will convert at least one of them. His conversion rate is pretty good, and Jones is good at recycling the ball, receiving the ball, and giving the ball. Now just hold up for a second and look when Gomez and Trent transition into these kind of spaces as well, right? So you might end up with something similar to this. Gomez and Trent, no matter what you say, are first and foremost defenders. They have a defensive mindset. They know how to cut the lines. They know when to press. They're decent in the tackle as well. When you look at this as a pressing unit, okay, and you try to burst through this, that is formidable to try to break through. No one there is going to give you an inch. No one there is going to give you an inch in terms of ability to play through the lines, okay? And everyone's got a buddy system to help each other out. Interchangeable as well. If Szoboszlai ends up in that position, Trent ends up in that position. If Jones ends up in that position, Gomez ends up in that position. It's more likely McAllister being in front, but obviously he covers on the overload as well. These players are tactically disciplined, holding the shape, leaving the free to cause the damage. It's very, very effective. If you were to look at your potential for tactical versatility, and in all the Premier League squads, Liverpool, for me, would rank number 1 above Man City, because Man City have a strong first 11, good options off the bench, but the options off the bench aren't the most tactically versatile as they were in previous seasons. The big difference maker there is Kevin De Bruyne, who can play number 8, he can play in deep lying 6, playmaking, he can play winger, because he started off as a winger as well. There's a lot of tactical versatility there, but Haaland is one and done, gets the goals, central, and run in behind. And then you've got some silky players like Foden, Bernardo Silva as well, but in that light, they're still not as tactically versatile because they're just silky left-footed playmakers, and a more advanced Elliott. But I think I have full confidence in this Liverpool squad to get the job done against Chelsea because, yeah, we're at Anfield, baby, and it's Klopp's final hurrah, final tenure. We've got to end this season well, go into Arsenal full of momentum. There's a lot of predictions of 2-1 out there. I think we keep a clean sheet. I don't think Chelsea are the most threatening team. Nicholas Jackson is going to be a late call at AFCON, and I don't think he plays as well. Broja just hasn't made any impact whatsoever. It's only Cole Palmer who's been the main threat in recent weeks. Their midfield always is quite spicy. On any given day, they can turn it on. Gallagher is an absolute workhorse. Enzo Fernandez is a magician. He's down tools a little bit. Caicedo is top quality. Hasn't got the form or the relationships or the rapport, all that work behind him in the Chelsea shirt to really, justify the price tag. But this 11 here, I think, has enough to get the job done. And saying that, there is a world where Conor Bradley may start, which slightly alters the game plan, because if Conor Bradley starts, it's more of a traditional right back slot, linking up with Szoboszlai, linking up with Jota, overlapping and playing Jota in the front post. Szoboszlai goes in half space for deliveries and to recycle the ball as well. And that is a possibility. And the other possibility is, of course, Andy Robertson starting, being more of a, let's say, Conor Bradley on the left. No, I'm just kidding. Conor Bradley is a Robertson on the right. But no, Robertson, obviously, you know what he does. Defensively solid, tactically disciplined, run up and down, bursting a gut as well. And it would be a major surprise if Gravenberch starts this game. If Gravenberch starts this game, it means Szoboszlai isn't fully trusted to start from the off because of fitness, which means that Gravenberch will start, and it would be likely that Jones starts on the right and Gravenberch starts on the left. Gravenberch and Gomez, and Jones and Trent, the Scouse combination on the right-hand side. I think the side of Gravenberch needs a bit more experience and a bit more defensive new about them, which would allow him to go to Gomez and Van Dijk's side. Obviously, his compatriot leading him and telling him where to go. The other world in which a Gakpo starts. So do you need to draw the defensive players of Chelsea out of position? Do you need to overload them in the top of the diamond? If Gakpo were to start, it'd most likely be in place of Diogo Jota. So you have Nunez on the left, Luis Diaz on the right, and Gakpo up front. But I think you start Jota the slotter here because any half chance we need to take it. If Chelsea concede, I think they'll fold and they'll open up. I don't think they have enough about them to keep Liverpool out at Anfield. They're not as defensively solid as in recent seasons, and they won't play as negative as Man United because Chelsea fans wouldn't accept it. So yeah, and Reece James being a miss for them is a big miss, because he actually has imparted his form, his ability, his skill set on us in quite a few games, and we've definitely experienced that. Lavia is a bit of a misnomer, hasn't made no impact whatsoever. Kukurea isn't rated by them. We've got Chuku, I don't think is he's done his hamstring or something. Fofana's long-term injury. Robert Sanchez will be a miss for them as well. I think this is the time. This is the time that Liverpool really make a statement in Klopp's final hurrah. Go for the throat Reds, and let's do them in 2-0. 2-0 to Liverpool. Saying that, I think I've kind of missed the timing a little bit on the Norwich post-match ratings. I think everyone played magnificently well. They scored from a set piece off the back into the goal. Alisson no chance, unexpected finish, and I think they scored a cracker as well. But we scored some pretty tasty goals in a combination play, especially Conor Bradley with 2 assists, Curtis Jones with a nice guided header as well, Nunez carrying on the goal streak, Gakpo guilty of missing that chance, and he would be frustrated himself, but it'll come. He's an honest, hard-working player, and he's got his compatriots Van Dijk and Gravenberch in there. He's well loved and well coached as well. I really like Quanza's contribution as well, always very effective. Joe Gomez holding the fort at left back. Gravenberch very, very good in terms of statistical play, still needs to find his place and his patterns of play in Liverpool midfield, but high potential ceiling there. Our players coming back, Robertson, Soboslai, Trent. It's all gravy, it's all good. Jota's volley, you're expecting to finish it. Absolute monster in his shooting efforts. Great day overall, and it was such a joy to see David Wagner and Klopp, buddy. I heard a really nice quote, like something like, Klopp always wants to win, and Wagner always wants to win, but in the end, Wagner knows that he always loses. Something like that, I don't know. Paraphrase me there, but yeah, make sure you like the video. Helps the video get seen by the algorithm. We're being exposed to more and more Liverpool fans. So glad to have you on board. Really enjoyed the chat. I'm getting through the comments one by one. Subscribe if you haven't already. Love the tactical analysis. This is a channel with substance in abundance, as I mentioned. We don't gloss over the easy things. We just go into full analytical mode, and I hope you guys are enjoying it. Thank you so much for the interaction. We're growing constantly. Miyazaki Manichiban. Until next time, Janet Matane. Enjoy the match. Peace.